Hey everybody, this is Joe Bovino from Bovino Law Group. How you doing? This video today is about the E-2 investor visa and specifically about what's called the substantial investment requirement. Now, I think the E-2 investor visa is probably the best visa for a foreign entrepreneur who wants to come to the United States, invest in a new business or invest in an existing one, bring his or her family, kids can go to school. The visa is potentially renewable for a lifetime. It's just a great visa. So, but the question is, how do I get one? What is meant? Well, the question is, how much do I need to invest in order to get the E-2 visa? Okay. I guess the question is a good one because the law doesn't say exactly how much. It would be much easier for everyone, right? If they said, as they do with certain other types of visas, that you have to invest 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, whatever it is. If they said that in the law, but they don't say it with the E-2 visa. They say you need to make a substantial investment. And so what does that mean? Well, here's what the law does say about substantial. Your investment must be proportional to the type of business that you're going to have here. So in other words, are you investing enough in relation to the type of business that you want to start up, manage, run here in the United States? So, and businesses come in all types, right? So they're going to be looking at what type of business you have and how much you're investing and does it make sense? It's called the proportionality test. They're also going to be looking to see if your investment is sufficient to ensure that you have a financial commitment to your E-2 business enterprise. Are you committed? They're going to look at that number that you've invested and they're going to say, is this person really committed to this? Are they all in? Are they really going to make this, a great business in the United States or not? Or is this, because for some people, especially people who have a lot of money, they can throw a little money at a little E-2 visa business and hope that it makes it. But if it doesn't work, they don't care. Or, maybe a person has the money, or maybe they don't have the money, but they just don't want to put it all in. They're a little afraid. They're not sure. In this case, they're going to be looking to see if you're committed. And that's going to be a factor in determining whether your investment amount is substantial enough, okay? And lastly, and this is again in the law in terms of how they define substantial, is it large enough to support a likelihood of success of your business? Or, with this kind of investment you're making, are you likely to succeed here or not? Now, as you can see, those are all, that's a bit vague, right? That standard allows for a lot of subjectivity, interpretation. If a US consular official is looking at your application, they're going to be making this determination, and they can go in a lot of different ways, right? Depending on how good your papers are, how strong your argument is, and your investment amount. And subjectivity can be a problem, right? You're depending on a person to decide on your fate, and with such a vague standard. So now here's one thing that can be helpful. Because there is so much subjectivity, because it's vague, many US consulates, most really, apply an informal threshold about what constitutes a substantial investment amount. And of course, it varies from country to country, but in general, in practice, a realistic minimum investment should be at least $100,000 US, okay? If that sounds like a lot of money and you can't do it and you're planning on investing less than that, I'll talk about that more in a minute, that can still work. You should also not assume that if you invested 100,000, 100,001, that you're in the clear. There are other factors, and that's what I'll talk about right now. For a lot of businesses these days, you can get set up in the United States and get going and start making money for a lot less than $100,000 investment, right? You have a lot of technology companies, software companies, and they have trouble spending that much money. It's right. They can't find things to spend it on. And I have clients like that. And here's the thing: if you're going to invest less than 100,000, let's say it's 75 or even 50, just know that it can still be successful. But in general, as your investment amount decreases, your risk of rejection of your E-2 visa application increases. Okay. It depends, again, a lot on the type of business that you're going to be running here, the likelihood that it's going to grow and create jobs and be, make a difference in the United States. There's lots of things there. But generally, if you start looking at lower investment amounts, it just means that everything else about your application needs to be that much better than the average. Okay. Now, if you invest 100,000, 100,001, how should you feel about your likelihood of success? Well, it's a good number, but if you have a manufacturing business and you're going to need a big space and lots of heavy equipment that's very expensive and trucks and employees, $100,000 might not be enough. 100,001. So it just depends. But in general, that $100,000 figure, at least that is a good rule of thumb. Okay, in practice. With my clients, we work with what we have. I just know that if the investment's going to be less than 100,000, the application better be damn good. And I would just say this, I always point this out. This is going to be decided ultimately by, in most cases, a consular official reviewing the application and making a decision, thumbs up, thumbs down, yes or no. That person's not going to know your business like you do. They see all kinds of applications. It's a government official, okay? Doing the best they can, but you don't want them to have any doubt by the time they finish reading your application that your business, that you deserve an E-2 visa, that they should approve you. And that means you don't want to hit them with a lot of information, documentation that's confusing. You need to lay out your case really well. It needs to flow, and they need to get it. You need to be able to explain this to someone. Assume that they're not that smart. The best way to do it is to assume they're not that smart, okay? And that you still need to convince them. So it's better to assume that and get a smart person than the opposite. Assume they're really smart and get a dumb one, you got a problem. So this investment amount matters because that's a simple thing that people can understand, right? Here's what I invested. They're going to see a number. And so the higher the number, the more likely a person who's not very smart is going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't mean to insult anyone. I'm just saying that these people are not experts and some of them are not that smart. So you need to take that into consideration. Now, what else? I would say for all E-2 investments, especially, well, for all E-2 investments, you want to make your investment in advance. Okay, you make it before you apply. And you want to basically put out 100% of what you're going to spend. Whatever that number you're going to use is, whatever it takes to get your business open, you want to put that money out there. With some of my clients, before they apply for the E-2 visa, their business is already operating. They've got an American employee or employees. They're not working there because they don't have their work authorization yet, but they can own it, and the business is running. So that looks good, especially if the business is starting to make money. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can set everything up, make your investments, and then make it so that as soon as your visa is issued and you've got it and you're here, you're ready to go into business. There's nothing else to do, really. Turn the lights on. That's that kind of thing. You need to be ready to go, especially if it's a startup business. Well, let me cut it off there. I don't want to get too into the weeds. If you like this video and you want to see more about the E-2 visa and about other types of issues too that involve clearing a path to the American dream, it won't all be immigration. My videos are going to involve whatever it takes to help people to realize their dream. I consider myself a bit of a concierge to the United States and our dream here. Then please like this video. It helps others to find it, and subscribe to the channel. The buttons are below. And that's about it for today. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Cheers.